Hello and yes, welcome to another video with me, Rockboy680. So today finally I'm going to be going over my Genesis Vinyl Collection. I actually have just got all their studio albums apart from Calling All Stations, because that's a super rare record and obviously can't quite get my hands on that one just yet. So I'm waiting for the reissue to come out separately out the box to get that one. But apart from that I have all their studio albums and I have their main 3 live albums. So that's Genesis Live, Seconds Out and 3 Sides Live. So I'm going to be just going over all of that. I don't have any 12-inch singles on Genesis yet. I thought maybe I'll just save a singles video when it comes to Genesis for some time in the future. So anyway, they are all original apart from this first one. So we have Genesis, from Genesis to Revelations. This is the only Genesis record which doesn't sound like Genesis. It's very much a 60s kind of rock, going into progressive rock kind of feel album. And it's not original, because the originals didn't have Genesis written across there. It was just a plain black cover with that written up there. And the back cover was also plain. But for the back cover on this reissue, they've decided to put a picture of the band, some information, and the actual track listing. And of course, reissue has that sticker down there. So if you can read it, also, it's on clear vinyl. I think it says that. Yeah, clear vinyl. Just making sure I get it right before I get the record out. Also, it's embossed, so that's really cool. And this came direct from Amazon for about, I think it was about £15, so really cheap. So yeah, there's that. Not a bad album, really. I mean, people kind of tend to just dismiss it. It's like, it doesn't sound like Genesis. You know, I think it's a really good album. Good starting album. However, Genesis do really change their sound almost immediately after this album. So it does kind of leave this album as a bit of a standalone thing. But, anyway. So the next record up is, of course, what a lot of people consider to be their first album. You know, it is Trespass. So I love the Genesis album covers themselves. You know, great. It's kind of like unfolds into a gatefold thing here. I'll show you. It's easier than explaining it. And it kind of unfolds. It's the only problem is with mine, like the kind of cellophane or whatever it is, it's coming off. It's like a big canvas and you've got like a big knife going for it. Here is the gatefold. And then it is on the large Mad Hatter label. So I did try to get all my Genesis on the large Mad Hatter label. I don't want to go for the other original pressings because they're just silly money. And I thought the large Mad Hatter is pretty much as original as you can get for affordable prices. So that was my goal. Anyway, Trespass itself, you know, this album, I'm being honest, I want to be honest in this video, because I'm a big Genesis fan. But I wouldn't say Trespass is one of my favourite Genesis albums. I don't know, I just never connected with this album too much. But by no means is it a bad album. It's a really, really good album. Then we get Nursery Cryme, which is a brilliant follow-up. The first Genesis album, in my opinion, that was, you know, really, really good. Just a great Genesis album. Very, progressive rock here, but really cool. Again, really nice album design. There's something about the Peter Gabriel era design of Genesis's records, which is just really cool. The album covers, you know, really, really, really good. And I've got this one's in nice condition actually. Comes with a nice sleeve, got the liner in there. But this one here I got at a car boot sale actually for a couple quid. So not every day you see Genesis, you know, Pete Gabriel stuff at car boots. You know, they're a little more hard to find, but they're still not too hard to find. I don't really think any Genesis albums, apart from the first and their last album, or last two, that hard to find. So they're definitely gettable if you want to get into Genesis. For those of you out there who are watching this that haven't actually started collecting Genesis yet, they're not too difficult to get really, and they're such a good band. I mean, they're a really fun band to collect really. Next one up. This one was a little tricky actually. Foxtrot. Did have a little bit of trouble trying to pick this one up, but hey, done it eventually. So again, really nice. Kind of unfolds onto the back, and I love Nursery Cryme, but I kind of have the same opinion as Trespass on this one. It's a good album. By no means is it bad, but it's not one which I play very often. It's not one of my favourites. And I got this for 99p in an auction on eBay. You can also see the Nursery Cryme cover there, which is really cool. Love that. So, and then of course here's the gatefold. Only problem is with mine, the sleeve is just wrecked. But it's on the large Mad Hatter. And look at the condition of that. I couldn't believe it. For its age, it was like, wow. Really, really good condition on that one. So, really couldn't be happier with this one. But, the music on it isn't bad. It's just kind of an average album for me. Doesn't want to go back in. Technical difficulties. So yeah, Foxtrot. Good album. It kind of follows on. I like to think of Foxtrot and Nursery Cryme as Volume 1 and Volume 2. Because they're very similar albums. They almost kind of link them with the album covers as well. So. And then of course we're getting onto the first live album. So here it is, Genesis Live. I'm not huge on this live album. It is good, it's very enjoyable, and it's really nice if, you know, a guitar player, you know, because it's just a whole jamming session, really. But I myself, it would have been nice for them to have done like a double album, and for this to be like one of the vinyls in there, and the other one just have some of their small kind of, you know, more upbeat songs on. My copy of this isn't very good, condition-wise, but it is on the large Mad Hatter. The record's in nice condition, but the sleeve itself has a bit of ring wear, unless it's downfall, as you can see there at the top. I'll flip it over on the back, you can see it quite clearly. So, plays okay, you know. So anyway, I found a deal on eBay, buy it now for £10 on the Genesis live album Seconds Out. And it also came with a repress of this album in mint condition. So I took it. So I have a really nice copy there in mint. There's just no flaws on this one at all. And it is a repress, as I say. So, but I knew that when I ordered it. So very cool, very cool. So so now that's kind of spoiled it that I've got Seconds Out, but okay, so next one up is actually my favourite Genesis album from the Peter Gabriel side. So of course that is going to be Selling England by the Pound. Selling England by the Pound is easily, as I say, my favourite record from Genesis's early career. This is just such a good album, it really is. Like, no bad songs on it, it just all flows so well. So mine has the insert, all the lyrics. And I think mine's a large Mad Hatter, I can't remember. I should know, because I do play this one quite a lot. Yeah, it's a large Mad Hatter, I think it is. Or is it a small one? I think it might be a small one actually, but I'm not sure. Looks a bit large, but then it's got the cat in the background, and I don't think the large ones have the cat in the background. Okay, that might be a small Hatter, but oh well, I don't mind, to be honest, because I play this a lot and mine sounds great. So the main thing with this record is, for me, is that it sounds good, because it's one that I play a lot. I haven't bought it for just the collection. You know, I'll admit, a couple of these records, like Trespass, it really is just for the collection, because I'm not going to play it that often. But, you know, Selling England by the Pound is a regular play on my turntable. So next one up, I really do need an upgrade on this, but this was the second Genesis record I bought, and I bought it at Car Boot Sale, and I had no idea that it was one of their more rare albums. Mine shows a lot of ringwear, I'm not going to lie, but it plays pretty good. That is The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Personally, I think this is a very, very hit and miss album. There are some real great songs on here, some real gems, but there are some real duds on here at the same time. But it's a very good album overall, you know. Last Peter Gabriel record, of course, and Genesis's only double studio album. Or, well, We Can't Dance. But, you know, I mean, I forgot about that one, but so we got the picture in the sleeves there. Small Hatter label. Maybe maybe Selling England by the Pound was a large Mad Hatter, because this one looks teeny compared to that. And kind of got its own record label design on the back there. So yeah. Anyway, so now Peter Gabriel has gone. He's left the band. It's down to 4 members now. And I do generally think that Peter Gabriel leaving was not good, but it happened at the right time. You know, I don't want to be one of these Genesis fans who says Phil Collins' stuff is the best, or I don't want to say Peter Gabriel's stuff is the best. That's Genesis to me. For me, I like everything. It's impossible to choose because there are completely different sounds. You compare like Abacab to Nursery Cryme. It just sounds like it really is a completely different band. Completely different, you know, years. People were into very different music, so you can't compare them. So for me, I feel that if Peter Gabriel had carried on with Genesis into the 80s, Genesis wouldn't have been as popular as what they are, in my opinion, because Genesis needed to change to fit the times. And I'm not sure if Peter Gabriel could have done that with Genesis. But anyway, so Phil Collins now takes over, and he's going to lead the band into their new sound. So here is the first step on that path, Wind and Wuthering. Now, I was really pissed off about this, actually, because I ordered this off Discogs. It took the guy 8 days to post it, and I messaged him. I said, you know, hey, what you doing? Get your head out your ass. Have you posted it yet? And he's like, sorry, I've been busy. What kind of excuse is that? And then, anyway, it's marked under mint, and it's also under the section where it's like original first press large Mad Hatter. Anyway, so it comes, you know, it's not mint, as you can see. There's a few marks around the edge. Got the original inner sleeve. Look at that, it's a repress. Anyway, I only paid £1 for it, so I didn't bother, you know, saying, oh, I want a refund, I want an original, you know, I didn't bother doing any of that. I just gave him a bit of a bad write-up. But if I see an original while I'm out and about, I'll definitely pick it up. But I haven't actually played this record yet, so I can't actually give my opinion on the music. But, hey, I'm sure it's going to be great. Because one of my favourite Genesis albums is actually this one here, which came out the same year, Trick of the Tail. So, great record for a start. And that kind of, you know, Phil Collins, I don't think that the Phil Collins side of Genesis really had many good album covers. But this one here, I'll leave as an exception, because this is a great album cover. I love kind of the artwork when it goes onto the back like that. The older lyrics, more characters in there. Original inner sleeve there. And small Hatter label. So yeah, very good album. I really do love this one. I play it a lot. So yeah, there's that. And now we're going to move on to the next Genesis live album. So can you guys guess what it is? No, I've already spoiled it in the video. So that's going to be Seconds Out. Really good live album, actually. Because I think out of the 3 Genesis live albums, I think this one's probably my favourite. But this is mint. I mean, look at that. There's no ring wear at all. Really, really good. I actually love how Phil Collins looks at this point. Just looks so different how he is on drums. Don't know. Just kind of strange to see him looking like that and not bald. Or nearly bald. So it's not, I know that you can get versions where it's on the Hatter label, but this one's mint. I don't know if you can see, but look at that. There is not a mark on here. Really like the record label design, so I thought, you know, I'm not going to be fussy over getting the Hatter on this record. I'll just take this one because it's such good condition. Only £10, which I thought was reasonable. This album normally goes between 10 and 15. And considering it was mint by now and it also had that first Genesis live album, I thought that's a really good deal. I've got to take it. And the seller was super quick at shipping. It only took him 2 days to ship it. 2 days to get here. I mean, that says a lot about the guy who I bought Wind and Wuthering off of. It's like, dude, come on. You know. But anyway, now this is the first Genesis album I bought. I've got 2 copies of it because I bought this one here first. So this is And Then There Were Three. Amazing record. This has one of the best songs on of all time. Follow You, Follow Me. Absolutely love the track. But as you can see, this one has a god-awful spine. Look at it. You can see the previous sellers tried to put tape over it. So anyway, found myself an upgrade in the pound bin. So, there it is. So yeah, I have 2 copies of that one. Very, very happy. And now this is when Genesis really went 80s. This is when Phil Collins was like, okay, we've kind of done the middle period now. You know, Wind and Wuthering through to And Then There Were Three. That's the middle period. If I had to pick a favourite period of time for Genesis, okay, there you go, that's it. I kind of like from, you know, the middle period of Genesis because I love A Trick of Tale and I love And Then There Were Three. So if I'm, you know, I don't like to go between Pete Gabriel and Phil Collins, but if I had to pick a favourite time for Genesis, that's my favourite time. There you go. Alright, now that's out of the way. It's like Phil Collins now, like, okay, we've done the middle period, now let's just go 80s, boom. And they put out this album here, Duke. Great, great album, I really do like it, really good. This is one of my favourite 80s albums. And, you know, I do think people are way too harsh on Phil Collins, because I think he, you know, he definitely steered Genesis in the right direction, in my opinion. Because I couldn't have imagined Genesis going on the way they were in the 80s myself. So I think people give Phil Collins way too much slack. I think he done a fantastic job. So yeah, I mean this, you know, this album of course has the track Turn It On Again, which is, don't know, that song's just a whole kind of, you know, on a different level. That song is so good. More instrumental really, because Phil Collins is pretty much singing the same words over and over again. But and of course we get Abacab. A really fun album to collect. You can get these, you know, different colour variations on this album. So yeah, this must be one of only Genesis albums which is in a gatefold now, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, this one and Wind and Wuthering and some Selling England by the Pound. Yeah, they got to be the only non-gatefold Genesis records. Oh, no. The last 3 are not gatefolded either. But anyway, this is a great, great record again. The actual track, Abacab, is just amazing. And it's got some other great stuff on here as well. Then here it is, 3 Sides Live. Really, really good live album. Really enjoyed this one. So yeah. And I did just review this album. It's the self-titled one from 1983. So if you want to see me go over this one in detail again, you know, go check out the video. Yeah, I'll just sum it up quickly here. I basically like every track on here apart from Illegal Alien. That song's a little bit for me. But it's a good album. And then probably, I know that some Peter Gabriel fans out there are going to be really mad for me saying this, but I love this album so damn much. It could be my favourite Genesis album. Invisible Touch. I don't know what it is about this record. It is just so fun the whole way through. There are no bad tracks on here. This is, you know, that's the word to describe it. Fun. And when I'm listening to music, I want to have fun. I want to be entertained. This album does everything. This album is just amazing. Got absolutely nothing bad to say about this record. Perfect. And then, finally finishing off Genesis, here we are. This is We Can't Dance. So this is a little bit rare. This is their last album with Phil Collins. And of course Phil Collins left, and the other two, Steve Hackett and Tony Banks, carried on and done Calling All Stations. So I'll just show you one of the records, as it is so rare. Really thin vinyl. But yeah, double vinyl, so really cool. There are only about 3 tracks on each side, so it's like, when I said Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, that really is their only double record, because if they wanted, this could all be on one, you know. Total, there's only about 12 songs on here or so. So, 3, 6, 9, 12 songs, yeah. So it really is just a single album. Anyway, that's it for Genesis. Now I'll just really quickly show you what I've got on them solo while we're here. I'm not complete on... I only have Phil Collins, Pete Gabriel, but I'm not complete on either of them. But I've got a couple on both. So anyway, Pete Gabriel, here it is, the self-titled, they're both self-titled. But this one's really cool because it's in shrink, if you can tell. It is slit down the side, but there you go, you can see the shrink there. And then of course got, I don't know what people nickname these albums, I forget. I know you got Scratch, and then Melt. Can't remember what these two are nicknamed though. Again, in shrink. I kind of nicknamed this one myself Batman, because it kind of looks like Batman. So yeah, there we go. And then of course got Peter Gabriel Plays Live. So interesting live album. Maybe not one of my favourites, but it's interesting. And Phil Collins, I've got, amazing album, Face Value. Great record. Then Hello I Must Be Going. Then I've got a US press of Hello I Must Be Going in shrink. There you go, you can kind of tell. And then I have, what's this one? But Seriously. Seriously. Sometimes I want to say Suddenly. Is it Suddenly? Oh, Seriously, yeah. As you can tell, I haven't played this one much. But anyway, that's it for Genesis. That is everything I own in Genesis, Pete Gabriel, Phil Collins wise so far. I do plan to get complete on Pete Gabriel and Phil Collins solo. I'll definitely be, working on that. There's not much to get on Phil Collins. I think I'm only missing No Jacket Required, Going Back, and I forget what the one was called that came out in '93. It's kind of a similar cover to this one, just with a white background, really. More modern photo, or recent photo of him. But anyway, that's it for my Genesis collection. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like the video, please subscribe, and please leave a message. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.